Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Tuesday's maths lesson. We're going to be focusing on percentages today in our main activity. But first of all, we've got a little starter activity where we are revisiting some old friends, fractions. And what you're going to do for your starter activity today is you're going to convert these improper fractions to mixed number fractions. Remember, a mixed number fraction tells us how many wholes and how many parts. Okay, so I'm going to just remind you how we do that. We've got a little sort of an aid memoir at the bottom, but first of all, we divide the numerator by the denominator. So here we've got 13 over 2. So 2's into 13 goes 6, which is 12. So we know we've got 6 wholes, okay? It could be 6 whole pizzas, all right? Then, how many have we got left? Well, we've got the difference between 12 and 13 is 1. So I put the remainders over the original denominator, which was halves, 2. So I've got 6.5. Okay, so I'll do one more and then you are going to have a little go at the others on the board and see how you get on. All right, and we'll check back and see if you were right. So this time we've got 27 over 5. So we've got 27 fifths. So 5's into 27 goes 5, which is 25. 5 5s are 25. So we've got 5 whole ones. How many have we got left over? Well, we've got 2 because the difference between 27 and 25 is 2. So we've got 2 fifths. Okay, so just a reminder, you divide the numerator by the denominator, and then you know how many wholes you've got, and then anything that's left over, the difference between the answer when you divide and the numerator, that tells you how many remainders you've got, okay, when you've done your revision, and you put those over the original denominator as a fraction, okay? So remember, 2's into 13 goes 6, 1 left over, so it's 6.5. 5's into 27 goes 5, with 2 left over, so it's 5 2 fifths. Okay, so you will need your purple book. You'll need something to write with. You'll need to make sure you can see the screen and pause the video. I'll move my head out of the way in a minute. Okay, I'm going to just move the screen up slightly so you can see the little aid memoir at the bottom. Okay, just in case you get stuck. And I'd like you to have a go. Pause the video. Off you go. Okay, Year 6, let's see how you got on then, shall we? Right, so the C, it's 49 over 10, so 49 tenths. So 10 into 49 goes 4, which is 40, and we've got 9 left over, so it's 4 and 9 tenths. Then we've got 19 quarters, 19 over 4. So 4 into 19 goes 16, which is 4. And we've got 3 left over. So we put the remainders over 4. So 4 3/4. Here we've got 47 over 5. So 5 into 47 goes 9, which is 45. And we've got 2 fifths left over. 4's into 25, well, 4's into 25 goes 6, which is 24. We've got 1 left over, so it's 6.25. Then we've got 2's into 23. Well, 2's into 23 goes 11, which is 22. And we've got 1 left over. So we put it over a half, okay, over 2. And 5's into 31, well, 5's into 30 goes 6, and we've got 1 left over. 4's into 37, well, 9 4's at 36, so that's 9.25. And then finally, 10's into 63, Well, it goes 60, which is 6, and we've got 3/10 left over. Hopefully you've done really well and you've remembered each of those steps. Well done if you did. Okay, so let's have a look then at what we're going to do today. I said that we're going to be having a little look at percentages, and today our learning question is, can I understand percentages? So percentages means out of 100. Okay, out of 100. That's what it means. So we're going to have a little look at some exercises today, and we're going to make sure that we fully understand what that means and how we write percentages, okay, and how we calculate them. And it's very much going to be lots of visual diagrams, okay, today, where you've got to do a bit of counting and you're going to be writing percentages, converting those cubes into numerals, okay. So let's have a look then. So we know percent means out of 100. And so very often they will say, you'll see a survey and it will say 25% of all cat owners say that their cat prefers Twinkies cat food. And what it means is they have done a survey. They've asked, 100 people, and they found out what the answer. Do they buy Twinkies cat food for or Twinkies treats for their cat? And then they'll say how many of those, and they convert it to a percent. And we write percentages using a little symbol. It's this, so we don't have to keep writing the word percent or percentages. We write that little symbol. Okay, and that means the same thing. So here I've got a square. It's got 100, 100, it's divided into 100 little squares. Okay, so how many parts are shaded in that 100 squares? So if I count it, each of these strips is going to be 10 squares. So this one is one short of 10. So it's 9. 9 parts are shaded. So that means 9 out of 100. So that's 9%. How easy is that? Yeah? Let's have a little look at another one then. Here we go. So again, I've got a square. It's divided into little individual squares. Okay, and we've got 100 again. Percent out of 100. So this time, how many are shaded? Well, I've got 10. I've got another 10, so that's 20. 21, 22, 23, 24 are shaded in. So there's 24 parts out of 100 shaded. So that is 24%. Really straightforward, isn't it? Let's have a look at one more. Okay, then you're going to have a little go at a similar thing. Okay, so here, nice and clear. Let's see how many are shaded. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. 65 of those 100 squares are shaded. So that's 65 parts out of 100 are shaded. So that means 65%. Nice and straightforward. So you're going to have a go at something very similar to that. So this is the first 3. So what you're going to do is you've got 100 squares on each of these little visual representations. What you've got to do is you've got to count how many parts are shaded in, and then you are going to write what percent that is. Okay, remember that little symbol. Okay, remember that, and I'll do it again so you can see it. That percentage symbol. So we've got 1, 2, 3. In your purple book, underneath the fraction starter, you'll simply write 1, 2, 3, and you'll tell me the percentage that is shaded in on these diagrams. Okay, so you're going to have a go at these 3. Then we've got some more coming up. So I want you to pause the video, have a go at these 3. Okay, year 6, let's see how you got on then. So let's see what we've got shaded here. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 72. So you should have 72% for number 1. 72%. Here I've got 10 and then I've got another 9. So that's 19%. Here I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 48. So you should have 48% there. Really nice and straightforward, isn't it? Okay. Now, I've got another 3. Have a little go at these 3. Same thing. You're going to now put 4, 5, 6, and you just got to count and work out what is the percentage. Pause the video, off you go. Okay, year 6. Let's have a little look then. So I've got every square coloured in bar 1. I know there's 100 in there, so that's nice and straightforward. That's 99%. Here I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and another 1. So that's 81%. Then here I've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got 55% coloured in. Hopefully you've got all of those. All right, okay. Your final 3 of these. So let's go out with a bang. Let's see if you can get all of them right. Okay, 9 out of 9. So you've done 4, 5, 6, so 7, 8, 9. You're just going to write down what percentage is shaded. Pause the video, last 3 of these. Off you go. Okay, year 6, let's have a look. How did you do then? So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 64. 64%. Here we've got 20%. And finally, we've got 3%. How straightforward is that? Okay, so moving on. Now, we're going to just expand on that a little bit. So this time, I've not given you the diagram, but I've told you how many parts are shaded. So if you have a look at the example, we've got 17 out of 100 parts are shaded. That means 17 over 100, 17 out of 100, which equals 17%. So what you are going to do is exactly the same for each of the questions. Okay, so 54 out of 100 parts are shaded. That's 54 over 100, which equals 54%. Okay, still nice and straightforward. It just means I've taken the diagram away now. Okay, so we're into reading the question and reading how many parts carefully. Okay, so you will just leave a line, and all you need to do is write 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think there's about 8 of them. You're going to just write that for me, the bit that's in red. That's the only part I want. You don't need to write the rest of the question, just that. So you'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you'll write it like that as your answer. Okay, so leave a line. You're going to pause the video. I'm going to scroll the board up so that you can see the rest of the questions. Off you go. Okay, year six. So hopefully you have got all of those correct. So we're going to move on now. And this time we're going to record our percentages as fractions. And we know that as a fraction, it's over 100. Okay, so each of these means out of 100, over 100. So 19% is 19 over 100. So what you've got on the board here is you've got 8 questions, and you are going to write them as fractions just like that. So underneath the last piece of work that you did, you are going to leave a line and you're going to write 19% equals 19 over 100. 40% equals, okay? So you're going to have a little go writing them as a fraction. And all that means is it's out of 100, okay? There's 100 altogether, and I've got 19 parts of it. There's 100 altogether, I've got 40 of them. 100 altogether, I've got 2 of them. Okay? So, pause the video, have a little go at these. Right, year six. Hopefully loads and loads of right answers, and I'm looking forward to seeing how you get on. So, the next bit is following on from what we've just been doing. You're going to look at your book 5, and it is page 21, question 4. And that's the only question I want you to do on that page. All right. What you are going to do is write them with a denominator of 100, these percentages. So just like you've just been doing. Okay, so 34% is 34 over 100. So very, very straightforward. You're just having a little go in your book now of the question there. So just question 4, and then you're going to have a go at your challenge. Okay, so pause the video, have a little go. Page 21, question 4. Right, this is your challenge then, year 6. It says passengers are boarding a plane. The plane has 100 seats. Ooh, are we talking percentages here? I think we are. 10% of the seats are already full. So how many passengers are already on the plane? Okay, 10%. What's that as a fraction? So how many parts, how many of those 100 are filled in, used up? Okay, then 15% of the seats have not been booked. How many seats have been booked? So out of that 100, 15% have not been booked. So how many have? Think about 15% wouldn't be shaded, but the others would be. So you might want to draw yourself a little diagram, or you might be able to just do that in your head. Okay, what will I need to calculate? All right, so having a little go at that. And then if 10% of the passengers are 10% are already on, and there's 100 altogether, how many passengers still need to get on the plane? Okay, how many passengers need to get on? And don't forget, you need to think about this because 15% aren't getting on at all. So there's going to be 15% empty seats. So think about how many will be full and how many have already got on who are going to be filling it up. So little bit of thinking, that one, and I'll be interested to see how many of you get that right. So let's just think about it again. 100 seats on the plane, 10% have already got on. So how many people have already got on that plane? Then 15% of that 100 have not been booked. So what's the capacity? How many people are going to be getting on a plane, on that plane in total? All right. If 15% aren't, how many people does that equate to? So how many seats will be full on that plane? So now you know how many seats will be full. You know how many people have already got on. How many then are left to get on? All right. Little bit of thinking. Going to blow those Monday cobwebs away so that you can show that you've wide awake this Tuesday. Okay. All right. Have a lovely Tuesday. Hope you get on with this really well. I'm looking forward to seeing how you've got on with the challenge, and I'm sure that you're going to feel super confident with percentages. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.